Hello, welcome to the Daily Bell Ringer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the preamble of the Constitution. It's actually just one big sentence, and it's actually a pretty remarkable sentence when you break down and look at everything that they talk about there in that statement. So again, the preamble to the Constitution. Preamble basically just means it's an introduction. All right, it's the introduction of the Constitution, and really what the preamble does is it establishes the why of the Constitution. So pretty much, why is the document in existence? Why did the Continental Congress get together? What is their whole purpose, and what is the document's purpose? Is pretty much, what is covered there in the preamble. So I've yacked about it enough here. How about we look at the actual preamble of the Constitution? So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to read through the preamble, and then I'm going to go back and we're going to kind of break down a little bit of what the preamble is actually saying, and probably pose quite a few questions for you to think about. What were the founding fathers actually trying to say when writing this? All right. So the preamble is. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. All right, now, a lot of big words in there, but let's go back and look and see, what did they basically mean by this? All right, so if we look here, we the people of the United States, this is a huge statement. And I know it may just seem kind of trivial on the surface, but if you think about it, it doesn't say we the states. It doesn't say we the government. It doesn't say we the legislature. At the time when the Constitution was written, there was a lot of argument about who was going to have more power, the states or the federal government. And in this statement, they're kind of saying, it's really neither. It's the people. And it's kind of an interesting way to start it and kind of a profound way of stating that the people were the ones who had the true power. And I'm sure later on, as you study more of government, or possibly later on another bell ringer, we'll talk about this concept of popular sovereignty, basically saying that the people are the ones who have the power. All right, in order to form a more perfect union, all right, just another way of saying creating a better relationship between the states or creating a better government. So obviously in this document, they're going to be addressing state relationships. They're going to be addressing, how is the government supposed to function. Establish justice. This is kind of an ironic one because you got to think about, 1787 when this was written. We of course we want to have justice for everyone, but like I said, when this was written in 1787, slavery was still intact, and many of these guys who were writing this Constitution, in fact, were slave owners. And so, this whole establishing justice thing, it's something that we strive for. But again, as human nature, it just seems that we struggle with this of giving everyone justice. All right, and so that's something that we should be striving for, is establishing justice. Now, ensure domestic tranquility. This is one that a lot of times students struggle with. Domestic is, if you think about like a domesticated cat or a domesticated animal, that basically means that they live at home. They've been domesticated, all right, and they're not wild. So we're basically saying, domestic, it basically just means at home. So something that is domestic is within the home, and tranquility basically means peace. So basically to keep peace within our country. And, if you think back to some other things, hopefully you know about the need for a constitution, they might be referring to, Shays' Rebellion was a big example of where there was not peace within our country. Provide for the common defense. Again, to have a military to protect our interests for our nation. So providing a defense for our country. Promote the general welfare, just make sure things are good in our country, and that we want to make sure we promote prosperity among the citizens, all right, that we're not basically putting things in place that make it difficult for people to be able to have a good life. All right, and then to secure the blessings of liberty. All right, this is a big question. What is liberty? What is your definition of what liberty is? So, this is one that could very much be debated as to what were they actually talking about here. But again, basically just to make sure people have freedoms to ourselves and our posterity. So basically, liberty for them at the time, but also liberty for generations to come, for us, for who we are right now. So posterity just means for the future, for future generations. Do ordain. That's kind of an interesting statement, because that's usually something that is more associated with the church, where you're basically giving a minister or a pastor his official job that he's being ordained. So we're kind of saying we're ordaining this document as being the official document for the United States. So Again, they officially make this the Constitution of the United States. All right, but real quickly here, what is a constitution? So again, if you look it up in the dictionary, the Constitution, here I'm going to read the definition: a body of fundamental principles or established precedents according to which a state or other organization is acknowledged to be governed. All right, so it's basically the fundamental principles of an organization. So for the United States, it's the supreme law of the United States. It's the foundation and source of all legal authority for the United States. It provides a framework for our government, which is what really a lot of will focus on the Constitution with, and defines relationships between the federal governments, the states, the citizens, and all people. All right, so sorry to get philosophical on you there, but hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.